Programme today, up first, we have the ultimate queen of soap. After an incredible 16 years playing Peggy Mitchell, and here to talk about her grand exit from Albert Square, she's on the computer as we speak. What's she doing? She's surfing. Barbara, don't look. What did she Google? It's Barbara Windsor.
Yes, Colleen Nolan's back in our interactive hub, ready to take your question. And what's the hot topic this morning, Colleen?
Well, as we're in the presence of soap royalty, we want your questions now for Barbara Windsor. Sharon Marshall's also here to answer your soapies, plus X Factor contestant Paige talks bootcamp. Email us on thismorning@itv.com. You can also tweet us through Twitter or have your say on everything we do on our Facebook page. Send your comments and questions before midday today for a chance to get them on air, and I'll be back later. Happy with that, Barbara? Get out of my hob!
Yeah!
Brilliant. Also on the show, an exclusive catch-up with our four boys who beat
Well, last week saw the nation's favourite landlady, Peggy Mitchell, watch in horror as her beloved Queen Vic and the memories of over a decade and a half in Albert Square went up in flames before her very eyes.
In just a moment, we'll be talking with the fabulous Barbara Windsor about her grand East End exit. But first, a little look back at some of those legendary Peggy Mitchell moments. Phil.
Of my mind.
It's never too late. I've got breast cancer.
Of the way we were.
You're the only woman for me, Peggy Mitchell.
I'm not some cuddly little old lady. I'm Peggy Mitchell. You don't mess with me. You haven't got the nerve. I said get out! Get out my pub! Get out, everyone, get out! The cheap crooks on your back! You're a weak, pathetic man who's brought this family to its knees.
Cause I've got to be. The meaning of my life is she.
Sometimes things seem like the end of the world.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Oh, we don't give many rounds of applause.
I know,
but you get one.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. That was lovely.
So
that
you
was really nice.
watched it at home, didn't you?
I did
Sir
with Scott, my husband, yes. They had a special showing, but I didn't want to see it like that. I wanted to see it in the order. So it was me and Scott were sitting there with a cup of tea, and he went to pieces. Absolutely, yeah.
And
he was very pleased. I held on. I feel I'm going... When I'm doing it, this is my only my second interview, and I feel like I want to go now.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
I haven't grieved for it yet.
It must...
You know why? Because I was still on the screen.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I felt, oh, I'm a part of it. You know.
So why say enough's enough? Why stop?
Because I'm 73, and I'd lost some friends. I'd lost Danny, great Danny LaRue. I'd lost John Inman. I'd lost Gareth Hunt. Dear Mike Reed, you know, Wendy had gone. You know, there were people going, and then suddenly we started to do more Saturdays, far more than we've ever done before. And then I realised, because there's a lot of lines to learn, and I'd created this character which talks very, very fast.
Yeah.
So it was always like that, you see. And what took me an hour to learn would take a second, you know. And I spent I only had Sundays in the end, and I used to get up, say hello, Naomi, have a little kiss and cuddle. And a bit of breakfast, and then it was heads down, you see, and that's how it was all the time. And the other thing is, which everyone says, how do you survive, Barbara, 60 years in the business, you know, how do you survive? And I'm sure you're the same, you've got your family. I turn off. I go through the front door, I have a little post-mortem and say, this went on and that went on, oh, and then I switch off. But I wasn't able to.
Yeah.
And Scott said, you're living Peggy 24 hours a day. You talk about her, you wake up to her, you do it on a Sunday, and it was driving him mad. And we weren't going anywhere. I made little silly things, like I said to Chris Biggins on his 60th, what do you want for your 60th? He said, tell you what, let's go to dinner. You know, I'll find a nice restaurant and you can treat me to dinner, shall we? That's 2 years ago. I went to dinner with him last week. All those kind. I love my theatre. And I wanted to be able to say, oh, let's go off to Cornwall. Or, you know, my life was absolutely going away. And I lost 2 very close family, which were young. They were young in their 50s. I thought, this is silly. You know, and I think I'm abusing myself. I'm not being kind to my 73-year-old
Life
body.
balance is too important.
But what a decision.
Yeah.
Because I love it. Oh, I love it with a passion. I loved Eastenders. It came to me at the right time in my life.
Well,
I
it
mean,
saved your career, really, didn't it?
yes. I mean, I was still working, but I had this act. And
You were thinking about retiring then,
yes, I
weren't
was
you,
going to
back
become an
then?
agent.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, 16 years ago. Because I've been in the business since I was 13, and I knew about the business. I was very knowledgeable, and people phone me up even now and say, "Bar, who do you think should do so and so and so?" I thought, I'll become an agent. I had my act, and I was going around not such number 1s anymore, not even number 2 theatres anymore, you know. And the day I was lying on the floor and it was snow outside, and I had an old fur coat on me, and Scott walked in, he said, "I think enough's enough." That's so I thought, well, I sat down and I started composing this letter, Ageing, Sex Symbol, Vast Knowledge. I started composing it, and out of nowhere, my agent was a great friend of mine, Barry Burnett, who'd I'd known for years and always said, "I'll never look after you," because we're great mates.
Yeah.
And suddenly he started to look after me about 2 years before. And the first thing he said to me, "I want you to get into Eastenders." And I said, "Oh, they won't have me. They didn't want any names." You know? So he said, and then out of the blue, I got this phone call. And he said, "I want to see you in my office." And I said, "Scott, I know what it is. He's unloading." He's unloading the clients because I'm not very good for him. I wasn't getting any, not giving him the 10%. So I went in, and he was so dramatic. It was so dramatic. It was like that. He had all that, looking out on London, and he swung round, just like that, and he said, "How would you like to be in Eastenders?" I went, "You're having me on, don't be so dark." He said, "Yes, there is a problem." I thought, oh, before I could think about Eastenders, they'd asked about me. I said, "What's the problem?" So he said, "They don't think you'll want to play the part." Because a lot of people think I want to walk around like this all the time, but you know, I love to take the face off, and you know, it's great. And I said, "Well, what part?" And when they told me, the mother of the 2, I said, "But that is the part."
It's such a great part.
And they tried three actresses, you know. They tried one, Jo Warne, who was big lady, you know, and it hadn't quite worked. You know, there was no. I don't know, it needed a little lady. They tried 2 other actresses who never made the screen. And then it was a combination of things where...
Well, she's a powerhouse, isn't she? She really is a powerhouse,
she's
like a
very
dynamo.
much like that East End lady.
Yeah.
I based her on 3 different people. I based her, the look, on Violet Cray, who always looked... The Cray's mother, you know, and who always looked lovely, always dressed in
Immaculately turned
the hair,
out,
you know. And the temper of Mike Reed's wife, Shirley Reed. I'd seen her one day kick off. I thought, my God, you know. and then the third was my mother's snobbishness, getting us out of the East End. Because every now and then, Peggy goes, "Oh, yeah, you know." And when she met Boris, you know, our mayor, you know, "Oh, hello."
The telephone voice
yes,
came
yes,
on,
hello,
didn't it?
hello. Yes, really, you know, I'm going to do your politician myself. All that I got from my mother. "We're going to move out the East End. We're going to Stoke Newington. They vote Liberal there." That's how my mother used to speak.
But nobody knew how successful Peggy was going to be. I mean, at the
No.
beginning, she wasn't like
No,
she
she
wasn't written
wasn't.
in for that long.
No, and
was
I only
she?
came in for 4 months. And I would have rather been anyone else but Barbara Windsor. I walked into that studio, and I knew there would be people you're not feeling, "Oh, why they got her?" And there was a couple of things said in the papers. "Oh, she's very good with her carry-ons." You know, I have a vast showbiz life. I've been on Broadway, and you know, I've done loads of plays. I was playing my age on stage, but nobody would give me that chance on screen.
Yeah.
And that's because they bought the carry-on films
Yeah.
for television, and they cut them up. And I suddenly, you know, I had this television series at 7 o'clock in the evening, and you know, and I wasn't like that person
Well,
anymore.
after 4 months, they...